Hey, Buff Nation, voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson here. Coming up this week in the Buffalo Stampede, changes atop the football program. Karl Dorrell dismissed as the head coach of the Buffaloes. We're going to hear from the Chancellor, Phil DiStefano, Athletic Director Rick George, and interim head coach Mike Sanford. Also break down the Buffs' last game at Arizona with my partner Gary Barnett and former Buff George Hippolyte. And we're going to talk about Ralphie's Green Stampede and how Colorado is leading the nation with the Green Initiative. We're going to hear from our friend Dave Newport all this week on the Buffalo Stampede.
As you know, I met with Coach Dorrell early this afternoon and informed him that we were making a change in leadership in our football program. Want everybody to know that I have a ton of respect for Coach Dorrell and the way he led our football program with integrity. However, the on-the-field performance fell well short of our expectations. There's no excuses, and I own my part in where we are today. I have to do what's best for our student athletes, and I felt that a change in leadership was needed at this time.
Well, changes are happening here at the University of Colorado. Hi, everybody. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Welcome to the Buffalo Stampede. The stark reality of college athletics is this. The bottom line is the bottom line. And the bottom line is Karl Dorrell did not win enough the last two seasons here at the University of Colorado. In fact, after a 4-0 start to his career here as the head coach of the Buffaloes, he went 4-15, including 0-5 this season. The first 4 games, 25-plus point losses. On Saturday night, the Buffaloes lost by a mere 23 points down in Tucson to the Arizona Wildcats. And that appeared to be the straw that broke the camel's back as Athletic Director Rick George made a change atop the athletic program here in the football program at CU. And on Sunday afternoon, they held a press conference. Chancellor Phil DiStefano, Athletic Director Rick George, and the interim head coach Mike Sanford spoke about the changes here in Boulder. Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill. Celebrate responsibly.
We still have a lot of games to play, which is why I made the decision now. We have 7 games remaining on our schedule, and I'm confident that we have the talent and the will to win the games down the stretch. I have full confidence in Mike to lead this football program. We will be diligent in our search process, and we will be incredibly thorough to get this football program back to national prominence. Both Chancellor DiStefano and President Solomon know how a successful athletic department can make this campus better. I promise you that I will work as hard as it possibly takes to return our football program to glory. Our athletic department has and will continue to provide the resources needed for a successful football team. This place can be and will be a football powerhouse. We have the facilities, we have the location, we have the programs, we have everything that we need to be successful on the football field. We will find a leader that will get us back to prominence. I'm energized about going out to find that individual. Building this program back to national prominence will take all of us. Every fan, supporter, and donor will need to step up, buy tickets, donate, get involved. We need to get more people involved in what we're doing, particularly in the NIL space.
We are at a watershed moment in college athletics. With conference realignment, NIL, the transfer portal, and uncertainty surrounding the NCAA's very existence, the college athletics environment has never been so turbulent. Athletics can provide a gateway to all of the important work we're doing throughout the campus, and I know our football program will once again match the ideals we strive for in our academic programs. The University of Colorado Boulder is a premier destination with great academics, facilities, student-athlete resources, and a proud and passionate fan base. And I'm confident that Rick will find a top candidate that aligns with our values and our mission of success on the field and in the classroom.
Change is difficult. Change is inevitable. But change, like I said, is also an opportunity. And we believe that the energy that we have to galvanize this football team and bring everybody together is an opportunity for us to go compete for an 8th game. And it all starts with having a fantastic bye week leading into the Cal game. These are tremendous student athletes. These players haven't quit. They have shown nothing but fight. They have shown resolve, and they've shown the leadership that we would all want to see in our own sons. I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity to lead these men, to lead this staff through troubled times, but to also look at this as a new opportunity. This is a fresh start, and we're going to look for players that are the most bought in, that are most fired up, and the most selfless individuals to represent this fine university. I want us all to think each and every day, when you wake up in the morning, what can I do? What can I do? And that is my cry. What can I personally do to turn this in this pivotal moment for this season? There is a ton of football left ahead of us, and most importantly, to bring a unified front across the board from staff to player. And I fully expect to see a much improved product when we take the field 13 days from today.
Our expectation for CU football is to become nationally prominent in that we compete every time we go out there and play, and we win more than we lose. We consistently go to bowl games. I have that expectation for all of our sports, not just football, but we need to consistently be discussed nationally about our program in a positive way.
So with the Colorado football program now sitting in limbo after the dismissal of Carl Durrell, those are the expectations laid out by the athletic director, Rick George. Up next, of course, is a bye week for Colorado. So Mike Sanford, the interim head coach, he's going to take the Buffs through the preparation of that week and then start getting ready for the family weekend game against the Cal Golden Bears here at the University of Colorado. Coming up next, we're going to break down with my broadcast partner, former coach Gary Barnett, last Saturday's game as the Buffs fall by 23 at Arizona.
Desert might remember their time together. Here's 3rd down and a screen set up beautifully. Charlie Offerdahl with a block in front of him into the red zone. Now a stiff arm, slides inside the 10 and is out at the 1.
It's a big roll with this offense.
And now the quarterback on the keeper walks it in.
Well, my broadcast partner about went nuts when he saw the screenplay to Charlie Offerdahl. That was followed up by a 1-yard touchdown run by Owen McCown. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Buffalo Stampede. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Former coach Gary Barnett joining us. But you were celebrating when you saw that screenplay to Charlie.
Mark, we throw a lot of receiver screens, but we haven't thrown any back screens, what I would call normal back screens, and they're just such a good play when you're getting a lot of pressure, and we threw one, and I threw my hands up. I was so excited to see it, and it was such a perfect call for CU, and it resulted in a touchdown.
43-20 the final score. Buffs do fall to 0-5 on the season. All right, give us a postscript on this one. What'd you see?
You know, Mark, pretty much a little bit of the same. There was some improvement. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I mean, we put some points on the board. We scored in the first touchdown in the first quarter. We scored a touchdown in the third quarter, which we haven't done. I mean, at this point in time, we're looking at little bitty steps, but they're steps. And, you know, the issues that have been problems for us, the tackling issues, they're still there. But, you know, it's hard to find a lot of good in this one, but there is some. And I think that's what we have to dwell on at this point in time.
That was the first quarter score for the Buffaloes since the first quarter of the TCU game, and the first third quarter touchdown the Buffaloes, or scored I should say, in the third period, a touchdown or field goals for Colorado. Owen McCown, start number 2. You want to see some growth from him after his first start last week against UCLA? What'd you see?
Yeah, I don't think he took any sacks he didn't need to take. You know, his accuracy under pressure and those sort of things, it's all got to get better. But I think he's a guy for this program, and I think he's probably going to be the quarterback that we take into the next game. And I think he's going to continue to get better as people get used to him. And, you know, he missed a couple throws, but he'll learn.
Yeah. There was a message out of sideline, a couple of those missed throws Gary's talking about, where the coaches talked to him about, hey, let it go, throw it. Sometimes quarterbacks get a little hesitant, trying to see what they want to see before they let go of the football. On the defensive side, Arizona is a pretty prolific offensive team. They racked up some enormous numbers, creeping up on 700 yards of offense. Boy, the missed tackles you touched on continues to be a thorn in the side of the Buffaloes.
Yeah, Mark, and the combination of missed tackles and the fact that Arizona's a really good offensive team, and that quarterback had a heck of a night. He's got some great young young receivers to throw the ball to, and they were ahead of us on play calling. They were a play ahead of us, and that happens sometimes, and we had it tonight. But very, very efficient offense, and we just got to get better at tackling some way. But we got to keep hitting the rock. That's what you got to do. You get up and go after it the next day and keep going after it. Eventually it's going to break, but you don't know when it's going to happen.
You and I were talking in the postgame a little bit about that concept. And I know from a fan perspective, when you hear coaches talk about going back to work, they roll their eyes a little bit.
Right,
That's
sure do.
The process, though. You in this business, what do you have to do to get better, correct?
Well, that's the only way you get better. There's no miracles. Nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
From anything other than work.
No pixie dust you can throw out there?
No, the only thing that works is work.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, some jobs require a lot more work than others.
Yeah.
And this one's going to require a lot of work, and you know it. That's your job. As an athlete, and a coach, you deal with that your whole life. And so the fact that you go to bed a failure at night, you get up the next morning and you go to work again, and that's how it works.
Boy, you look out there, Owen McCowan, true freshman. Anthony Hankerson was our player of the game on a Colorado Football Network broadcast. Jordan Tyson made some plays out there. I mean, a lot of young guys out there in the field.
Van Wells playing
center the entire game, and I know you were very impressed with him.
I was. I thought he had a great night. Yeah. And so a lot of things to look forward to, but unfortunately not as many as we have problems with right now.
You look for the little positives, but yet the Buffaloes are 0-5 as they fall here in Arizona. We'll take a timeout here in the Stampede. Former Buff, or as you corrected me, he said once a Buff, always a Buff. George Hippolyte, he was on the sidelines for us. We're going to talk with him next today after a quick break.
He's way too far behind the play to the field to that sideline. Downfield where Deion Smith is going. Sliding through two, Arizona Wildcats, rumbling through a few more. Look at Deion Smith go for first and goal.
Heck of a play by running back Deion Smith right there, but the Buffaloes fall here in Tucson, Arizona, back in the Stampede. You remember this guy, number 86, right? Defensive lineman for the Buffs. We tracked him down. He worked a sideline for us in the Colorado Football Network. First off, how'd you enjoy getting that broadcasting thing?
It's fun. It's fun. It's a lot different seeing it from the other side, but I enjoyed myself.
His day job, he's a lawyer. He's always been a smart guy. He kind of was slumming with Gary and me working on the broadcast here. All right, you were down there, got a field vision of what was going on with Colorado. What's your postscript thoughts on this one?
I think the Buffs are close. What they have to do is learn how to trust each other. In a lot of areas, I think right now, when you're down, you're losing games, it becomes hard to trust each other. Offense does something bad, defense feels down, goes out, gives up plays. And I think that contributes to it, and it starts spiraling. So I think right now, they just need a spark, something to go their way that can motivate them. That doesn't mean they're going to win all their games, but I think that they'll start playing a lot better.
It's interesting, George. As George was talking to us on a radio broadcast, you were talking about a lot of things like you just touched on, a lot of the mental aspect of what we're seeing. There's physical mistakes, but what's going on between the ears is so important, isn't it?
That is football, and confidence in football is a huge thing, right? The more confident you are, the better you'll play, and that confidence becomes contagious. And the inverse, right? If you're unconfident, that also becomes contagious. And I think that's a little bit of what's going on right now. Definitely, they are playing some talented teams that are making a lot of great plays against them, but there's a spiraling effect because they don't have the resiliency to come back from some of them.
I always think about the great comment by legendary coach Bill McCartney. I always used to talk about the mental is to the physical is 4:1 and how important that is. The defensive issues we're talking about here. A lot of times guys are in position, the tackling issues and just, missed minor assignments.
It's trust. I think one thing the defense could do moving forward is to swarm a little better, give multiple hats to the ball because, if you're going to miss one, if there are four of you, hopefully one of the four will get them down.
Yeah.
But I also think that there is a lot of talent there. There's a lot of things that guys can do to be successful.
Buffaloes end up falling 43-20 here in Tucson, Arizona. The Wildcats afterward heard from one of the leaders in this team, one of the offensive linemen, Casey Roddick. Powered by Ford. Cars, trucks, and SUVs built for America. Built Ford proud.
Defensively, we got to tackle better. Offensively, we got to complement the play on defense better. So I think we saw a better offense this game in terms of kind of just trying to stay on with drives, but still we have to finish better offensively. But it is disappointing at the end of the day, and we know that. But I didn't see this coming. We all didn't see this coming, but still, you have to grind this out. I mean, at the end of the day, what else are you going to do but work? And that's all we can do. That's what we're going to do coming forward. We got a lot of guys who can play on the O-line. that's one group on this team that I know that when I'm in that room, we're going to fight and throw us triple zeros on the offensive line. And we know that. We know that we got a young quarterback that we got to protect. So it's heightened to another level. I know in the offensive line room, every single play is heightened to another level. And so if everybody could take that consideration, then I know we're going to be successful. Anthony Hankerson's doing a really good job back there. Van Woe is doing an excellent job. Chase Sowell even, Jordan Tyson. That core is going to not only get stronger, but it's great that they're getting the experience now because 2 or 3 years from now, they're going to be something special.
That's one of the leaders for the Buffaloes, Casey Roddick, after the Buffaloes fall 43-20 to Arizona. As we continue with George Hippolyte, he worked the sidelines for us on the Colorado Football Network. Well, now you go into a bye week. What do you do if you're this team? I know Gary keeps talking about hitting the rock, but from a player's perspective.
You got to flush it. That's the first thing you got to do. You got to flush it and realize a new season has started. This is a chance to start fresh and learn from your mistakes. After that, I think Coach is right. You got to start hitting the rock. You got to start going back to the basics of the things that you started with in training camp and trying to shore them up. And you got to take an honest look at yourself and make sure that you're ready for what comes next.
George, take us into the locker room a little bit, though. When you're a football team and you're struggling, and you late in your career had a time or two when you guys were struggling a little bit. I'm being kind when I say that. You in that locker room, when you don't have a veteran-heavy team like this, what transpires with the players? What needs to happen?
Somebody has to step up, right? Somebody has to take it upon themselves to take it personally and step up and to start to set an example. And that just takes, guys showing up early, staying late, and just being committed to figuring it out.
Yeah. That's a tough process, the mental aspect of this with this bye week coming up. And, I suppose when that happens, you've gone through byes. There's a lot of reps that need to be taking place. Go back to the basics, correct, moving forward?
100%. You get a chance to self-scout and to correct the mistakes and the things you put on film and hopefully to get better without having to worry about preparing for a specific opponent.
Yeah. What was your take on what you saw? You played against those offensive lines, that offensive line for Colorado.
The offensive line for Colorado doesn't have a lot of continuity right now, and it sort of shows. They don't communicate very well in between the lines, and that's something that I think in a bye week they can really work on.
Yeah, that unit, of course, has got to have a little cohesion in there moving forward, helping this Buffs offense a little bit, protecting that quarterback, opening up some holes for those running backs out there. Owen McCown, what was your take on him?
I think the kid can sling it. He has a lot of good attributes, and I think right now he's just young and gun shy. He's trying to see the plays come open before he throws them.
Yeah. You got a chance to do something in this broadcast business, I'll tell you. You did a nice job. Did you enjoy yourself?
I appreciate it. Yes, no. Working with legends, you always do a good job.
I don't know about that. You did a great job. George Hippolyte was on the sideline for us as the Buffs fall here in Tucson, Arizona, sitting at 0-5 in the season. Coming up next, we're going to take a look at a green initiative within the athletic department at the University of Colorado. That's after a break.
10-footer off the tape. Dug back row by Perry, left side Hadrich, and she tools the block. Has a losing record on the road of 1-3. Left side, and the Buffaloes get a big block to end set 2.
A nice road victory for the Colorado volleyball team, picking up a 3-1 win over the UCLA Bruins. UCLA winless, by the way, so far this series, but the volleyball team having a very nice season back in the Stampede. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson, from the Environmental Center here at CU. Dave Newport joining us. Ralphie's Green Stampede. I know we've talked about that here on the show, but we got Green Sports Day that we celebrate. You've got a great story about where this all started. You and I were chatting before we went on campus, or on camera rather, and then we'll go back to the Obama administration. You were in D.C. Tell us about that.
Yeah, President Obama initiated that when he was given the mandatory White House tour to the Pittsburgh Penguins after they just won the Stanley Cup, and declared Green Sports Day in the East Room amongst a bunch of people, and the only university that was represented was CU. I was happy to be there and was happy to meet the president.
Did you get to hold the cup in that day too?
No, they wouldn't let me get that close.
Well, of course, it was just on campus. Ralphie got to spend time with the cup. We know that. Green Sports Day. Kind of talk about what that is and kind of how it is applied here at CU.
Right. We try to celebrate Green Sports Day every day, and obviously Ralphie's Green Stampede is crushing it, and so is the athletics department. And the solar panels across the way here on the IPF and others on top of the basketball facility are about 85% of the capacity that CU has in renewable supplies directly on campus.
You brought props with you.
We brought props. We rolled out the ball cup. We are rolling out and still serving out of the ball aluminum water cup, water container.
Yep.
We recycle like crazy. We're hitting 85, 87% recycling rate every game. The best you can do is 90.
Yeah.
And that is hard. We've done it a couple times. It's tough. But the staff of Ralphie Green Stampede is amazing, and get out here and work day and night, literally overnight sometimes. And yeah, it's a tough job, but they do it.
You know, it's amazing what those kids are doing, because I'll come out after a ball game, late after a ball game. We get done with post game, we get done with television shoots and all that kind of stuff. And you've got the kids out there sorting and going through the whole process. It really is a labor of love for them, isn't it?
Well, it's a very glamorous thing to do, too.
Yes, yeah, it is.
You meet the nicest people sorting garbage, I always say, and it's actually true. Some amazing people will stand out there, and in the snow, that's happened, sort out stuff coming out of the stadium, and happy to do so, and make lifelong friends.
You know, we've got a lot of student athletes who are involved in this as well, including one of them is linebacker Joshua Gustav from the football team. He's with the Student Athletic Council.
My name is Joshua Gustav. I'm on the football team here at Colorado. I'm also part of the environmental committee here at CU in the athletics department. We're part of SAC, the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, and we concern ourselves with just increasing sustainability and education and sustainability within the athletic department. For this semester, we are focusing on educating the athletic department on waste, but especially the trash bins in the athletic department. It's really important for this generation to care about this because it's in our hands, global warming. It's happening. It's in this generation's hand to make a change and to make up for some of the ground that we've lost so far. I'm very proud of how this campus handles sustainability because I think we're ahead of many schools in this country when it comes to sustainability. We have Ralphie's Green Stampede, which is a great initiative on cleaning up after game days and keeping campus clean. And this campus and the athletic department is doing great things in terms of sustainability.
Joshua Gustav, linebacker for the football team from the Student Athletic Council. He's involved with Ralphie's Green Stampede, all we're doing here on campus. You know, as you're talking about Green Sports Day, Ralphie's Green Stampede, how unique is what we're doing here in Boulder in college athletics nationwide?
Well, you're standing in the home of the first and foremost and the best collegiate sustainability program in the world. Mm-hmm. We were the first ones to put together a comprehensive program. Now we were also the first ones to sign the UN Global Charter, of which only 5 universities in the United States have had the backbone to stand up on that one and declare that they're going to do the right thing and do it. Rick has provided amazing leadership for everything we've tried to do, and I come to him with something new and improved, and he says do it every time. And that's a leader. You know, it really is interesting. You know, here at CU, we're kind of putting our money where our mouth is, aren't we? In terms of, you know, when we preach the green ideas and what we're doing with sustainability, we're really putting a lot of emphasis behind it. Well, we have to. I mean, this is a great campus for that. This is a global leader. We are the home of collegiate recycling, period, bar none. Collegiate recycling started here in early 1970s when that was the new approved thing. Yeah. Because the students here wanted to do it, we've been doing it ever since.
What's next then? What's the next step here at CU, do you think?
Well, the next step is to get more aggressive. As we know, the climate is going its own direction on this, and we want to kind of hold it back a little bit. We've got some very robust goals for 2030. It's coming up on not too close, not too far away, and we have the support to do it. So that's pedal to the metal.
All right. Well, one of the global leaders, really, when you think about it, here from a green standpoint with Ralphie's Green Stampede. Dave, appreciate it. Thanks for being with us.
My pleasure.
Dave Newport joining us. Always great to get out and support Ralphie's Green Stampede. Next time you're here for a ball game, look around. The signage, the activity is everywhere. As we put a wrap this week in Buffalo Stampede, I'm voice of the bus, Mark Johnson. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next time.